For number 3, we look at a situation with concentration instead of with pressure. So we have the Kc provided, and we have our expression and our initial concentrations. So write the equilibrium expression and then calculate the reaction quotient. Very typical beginning points. So the equilibrium expression, that's our easy point. Just keeping in mind that it's always products over reactants. Then we just have to plug in the numbers that were given to us to calculate Q. Okay. Once we know Q, we can answer the next question, which direction will it shift to reach equilibrium, and then explain. Once again, probably should be 2 points right here. So, keeping this format in mind, I first say what direction. It's like the first point is right here. The reaction will shift to the left. Then I explain it. We know that Q is greater than K, so I got to talk about that QK relationship. And I need to talk about how we're going to change reactants and products to get to where equilibrium exists. That's when Q equals K. So there's my 2 points. Now, on to part D, calculate the equilibrium concentration. 2 points for this. First one is going to be for coming up with an ice table. And keep in mind that the ice table is where you demonstrate that you understand how the chemistry is going to function. So it's this one, the change line, that gets examined most carefully, that you understand, first of all, that if it's shifting to the left, it's going to be plus for the reactants, here and here, and minus, and then that the 2 comes from the fact that there is a 2 in the balanced equation. So once you have these equilibrium numbers, now we're on to the math. We plug in the known K value. We notice that it's a perfect square. So we take the square root of each side. We evaluate that to get rid of our annoying squared terms and no quadratics. Then we just take a couple of math steps, bring the denominator out, solve for x. X is now molarity because we're talking about concentrations in problem number 3. And finally, our point is in actually getting the concentrations. So you have to take your answer and then plug it back in to find what those concentrations are. So you get your final point for finding the concentrations.